Good morning, all of you. How are you all? कैसी चल रही पढ़ाई? How many hours you are putting for your studies? When you set the intention right, it definitely happens. But first we have to decide. And all that depends upon how is our morning. Are we rushing through it? Or are we doing it all how it is required to be done, setting the intention that, okay, I will do this today. Right? Okay. So here we are together to actually do second chapter of the GST. That's pretty simple, but generally I take 2 classes for that. That can be done in 1 class. That is supply. Supply in GST. Okay. Now every chapter has a style of asking the questions for your 50 marks. Like if you ask me the introduction part, how they are asking you in the introduction part, either it will be small MCQs, articles or some advantages and all, or straight theory question. What are the features of GSTN or how the GST Council works? Write that straight question. Okay. Now, in the second chapter, which we are doing now, it is called as supply. It is actually knock entry in the GST. Oh, are you supplying goods? Are you supplying services? Aja. But before we start the definition, okay, one thing I straight away started with supply. I had promised that I'll do revision of yesterday's class, introduction. So I'm just doing and then I'll go to supply. Really missed out. You also come back. अगर किसी को कोई doubt है तो पूछो. Yesterday's class we will do first. Whatever we have done. Like in India, we are paying 2 kind of taxes. One is direct tax, one is indirect tax. If it is very clear, we are going with a good speed and you can pause me anytime. And sometimes even if you feel, abhi ma'am samajh mein aa gaya, kyun kara rahe, to make you learn. Today supply, as I said, I can complete in 2 classes, but I'll take 2 classes because sometimes repetition is required to make you learn few things, right? Okay, chalo. So direct tax and indirect tax is what you pay on your income, you yourself paid, so it's called direct tax. GST and custom are 2 indirect taxes which you pay to government. Ultimately, all the taxes are borne by consumer, but then indirectly. Okay, right. In GST, we call it, whether you sell goods or you give services, we call it supply, right? The highest governing authority who's monitoring GST in India is CBIC, Central Board of Indirect Taxes and Custom. Of course, along with all detailed decisions and all taken by GST Council. For direct taxes, we have CBDT, right? Okay. And then how does it work? In GST, whatever I am purchasing, if I am a registered supplier, then 18 rupees, whatever GST I am paying on my input, I will keep it separately called as input tax credit. And whatever GST I am doing it on output, that is called as my output GST. Okay, whatever I am collecting. Output GST minus input GST is the GST I have to pay every month to government, right? So automatically it's a transparent act. Whatever value addition A is doing and selling to B, 50 rupees on that 18% tax he is paying. Same way B to C and so on. Whereas in old case, it was tax on tax, which is called as cascading effect, and the final product was costly, right? Okay. Now, when A is selling to B, B is the buyer, A is the seller. A is collecting the tax from B and paying to government. This is called as forward charge mechanism. Here we are. Okay. Now, A is selling to B. Yeah. And B is paying the tax on purchases, like, on sales, A should pay the tax, but A is run unregistered. Government wants tax. So B can take the credit, but B is paying the tax to government. In that case, it is called as reverse charge mechanism. Just the terms, RCM kab lagega kya, everything in section 9 we will do. Whenever I am talking little bit also of sections, these are of CGST Act, right? Okay. When I sell from one state to another, it's called as interstate sale. Within the state, intrastate. Interstate पे क्या लगता है? IGST. Within the state, CGST, SGST. GST in India we are following is called as dual model. Dual model because 50% of the tax is going to center, 50% to state, right? So till here we have done. And after this, we talked about the advantages, the disadvantages, and GST Council. Okay, it is headed by Finance Minister, then one Revenue Minister, and all the states and Union Territory Minister. Minimum 50% quorum should be there for the meeting, and decision is taken by 3/4 weighted votes, right? And then to operate GST every day, we have GSTN network. Okay, right. What is GSTN network? GSTN network is everything related to GST is done online. For example, the first step I'll take is registration. Second is I'll pay monthly taxes and then I'll file returns. These are the front end operations, back end, queries, token number, everything is done through online portal. Now, so many people approaching the portal for all, so it may be difficult to operate in that way. Then there are intermediaries in between, which are called as GSPs and ASPs. These are called as GST Suvidha providers. They help you to do your work on the portal. Okay, right. So this is all detail. Yeah, and which amendment we have made in Constitution? आ जाओ, आज से GST लगेगा. Since 2000, every finance minister, every time budget comes, okay, we are bringing GST. But because of the troubles, what we have discussed yesterday, from 2010 onwards, the work was going on. And in 2017, Constitution mein 101 amendment they made. Okay, we can charge a tax like this, like we are charging on income tax. We will abolish VAT, excise duty, service tax, all, and only one nation, one tax, that is GST, will be charged. And to levy and all, two more articles were added in the Constitution, 246A and one more. Okay, so this is all the detail. समझ में आ रहा है नहीं आप सबको? Until now, anyone is having any doubt, ask. Just revise it once again or watch yesterday's lecture also 1.5 speed में 1.25 speed में देखोगे तो भी चलेगा, no problem. Yeah, this is all we have covered yesterday. They are asking you how the set off is done, or yeah, to what products GST is still not applicable. Alcoholic liquor for human consumption, petroleum, diesel, petrol, ATF, tobacco, opium, and the real estate. Okay, these are still outside the purview. Yesterday we have discussed. What are the taxes which have subsumed, which have gone? So many central and state taxes have gone. Okay, yeah. Because there was a gap, state started losing the revenue. To compensate that, we started with one more GST compensation tax, which was charged on luxurious products. Pan masala, tobacco, cigarettes, cigar, coal, lignite, aerated waters, motor car. So other than GST compensation cess was charged and this was like a luxury, like how you earn above 50 lakhs, you can pay surcharge. Oh, your total income is above 5 crore, you can pay surcharge at higher rate. Like that, they started this. Okay. There's an amendment that GST compensation cess will still be charged till 2026. Okay. Right. So GSTN and functions of GST. Registration, payment, return, settlement, set off, credits, all. Article 246A and 269A. These three names you should remember for the implementation. I've given it quite in brief. If you are interested to know what was the history and who was involved, one flowchart is there in your study material. Okay. Now we are starting with supply. And I want everyone to write here two sections we are going to do. Section 7 of the CGST Act, which is talking about supply, and Section 8, which is talking about composite and mixed supply. It's not a break, dear students. 2 minutes, just excuse me. Can you please read the definition?